In the 17th and 18th centuries, the streets of Paris teemed with men and women sporting towering white wigs that covered their heads and flowed over their shoulders. These weren't merely a fashion statement. They were a shield against a horrifying disease, a balding epidemic that ravaged Europe. Behind this trend lay a dark secret: syphilis, a sexually transmitted infection that caused not only hair loss, but also disfigurement and death. Men and women of all social classes donned their finest attire, parading through the streets with an essential accessory: long flowing wigs. But these aren't mere fashion statements. They're carefully crafted illusions designed to conceal a dark reality. Every strand of hair that graced the wigs hid a story of pain and despair. Facing his own hair loss, he assembled a team of the best wig makers in the kingdom and commissioned them to create elaborate headdresses that concealed his affliction. And as if by magic, the king looked young and vibrant once again, his power and prestige restored. Other members of the French monarchy soon followed suit, donning these magnificent wigs to project an image of health and strength. Women found themselves judged and ostracized for the loss of their locks, facing ridicule and scorn from society. First, the head was shaved to ensure a smooth surface upon which to place the wig. In fact, many aristocrats wore masks over their faces to prevent others from seeing their So underneath the layers of powder and curls, these individuals were hiding their true faces from the world. Then a leather strap called a sweatband was attached to the inside, providing a secure and comfortable fit. Animal hair was then sewn onto the wig block in a specific direction, creating a unified and realistic appearance. Why white was the most popular shade, touches of gray, brown and blonde were not uncommon, allowing each wig to become a unique reflection of its owner. Each strand was carefully curled, looped or braided, resulting in an elaborate masterpiece that took hours to complete. Such was the importance of wigs that King Louis XIV established a formal guild of wig makers, known as the Courtiers de Paris, to ensure quality and regulate prices. Guild members were required to follow strict guidelines and only use premium materials, contributing to the exceptional quality of Parisian wigs. Actors donned elaborate wigs to enhance their characters and bring them to life. Many of the finest wigs of the era were made from the hair of enslaved Africans. The demand for exotic materials like African hair fueled a brutal industry, perpetuating slavery and depriving countless individuals of their basic human rights. This dark chapter highlights the complicity of wig fashion in the transatlantic slave trade, tarnishing the industry's legacy with the horrors of exploitation and suffering. Theatrical productions were a platform for experimentation, with actors often pushing the boundaries of wig design. As Europe entered the Industrial Revolution, practicality and function took precedence over elaborate fashion statements. Moreover, the emergence of new fabrics and hairstyles offered alternative ways to express one's personal style. Wigs, once a symbol of wealth and power, gradually became a relic of the past, confined to the pages of history books and antique collections. They incorporated different colors, styles, and materials, showcasing the versatility and artistry of wig making. They serve as a reminder of an era when appearances were paramount, and wigs were more than just a fashion statement. They were a reflection of society's values, fears, and innovations. This theatrical influence further solidified wigs as a symbol of drama, emotion, and spectacle, adding another layer to their cultural significance. It reached into the very essence of society, shaping perceptions, fueling the economy, and driving innovation. What surprised you the most about the history of the powdered wig? Do you have any other theories about why they were worn? Drop your answers in the comments below. And don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. If you enjoyed this journey through time, thanks for watching. However, the economic impact of wigs went beyond just their creation. They became a status symbol, signaling wealth and influence. This led to a surge in demand among the upper echelons of society, further boosting the wig industry and its ancillary businesses. As wigs became an essential part of daily life, an entirely new industry sprung up to meet the growing demand. Soon, the entire French aristocracy was sporting elaborate wigs, each vying to outdo the next in terms of height, volume, and color. But this trend wasn't limited to Europe. Across the Atlantic, powdered wigs took root in colonial America, adorning the heads of lawyers, judges, and merchants. You see, the bleaching process used to lighten the hair also removed its oils and natural pigments, leaving behind a straw-like texture that could be easily styled and reshaped. This characteristic made powdered wigs perfect for the fashionable and demanding tastes of the upper classes, who desired headwear that could withstand the rigors of daily use and still maintain an impeccable appearance. Everywhere, the unmistakable silhouette of a powdered wig marked one's social status and importance. They needed to be maintained, and that meant keeping them clean. Despite their seemingly delicate nature, these wigs were actually remarkably resilient. Well, it turns out that the powder served a dual purpose. Not only did it help maintain the shape and volume of the wig, but it also concealed any imperfections or blemishes, ensuring that the wearer always looked their best. Additionally, the powder absorbed sweat and kept the head cool in hot weather. Perhaps most importantly, it added an extra layer of protection against the scorching sun. Back in the 17th and 18th centuries, sunscreen wasn't readily available, so the wealthy bought expensive scented powders to protect their delicate skin from the sun's harmful rays. They could be boiled and scrubbed without causing damage, a testament to the durability of the materials used in their creation. After boiling, the wigs were hung up to dry, revealing their pristine white glory once again. The French court had transformed wigs into a symbol of power, prestige, and alignment with royal culture. Even worse, men with receding hairlines were accused of immorality and their reputations tarnished by the whispers of the wind. The balding epidemic caused by syphilis is sweeping across the continent, leaving victims desperate to hide their condition. Wigs played a significant role in daily life during this period, serving multiple purposes beyond aesthetics. Made from human or animal hair, these remarkable creations were meticulously crafted to fit each individual's head. They covered the ears and reached down to the shoulders, cascading in luxurious curls. Aristocrats and commoners alike are turning to wigs as a last resort. Those who succumbed to its horrifying symptoms were forever branded outcasts, victims of a disease shrouded in mystery and fear. This shocking revelation has been made by historians after discovering ancient medical texts describing the symptoms of this terrible illness. They believe that it may have been brought to Europe by Christopher Columbus after his discovery of the Americas. But who were these unfortunate individuals who first contracted the disease? However, the emergence of syphilis shattered these ideals, turning hair loss into a mark of shame and disgrace. For many, losing their hair meant losing their social status and dignity. But there was no cure for this disease, no way to prevent its deadly march across Europe. As cases rose, so did the need for a solution. People experimented with herbal remedies and tonics, but nothing seemed to work. The only respite came in the form of elaborate wigs that covered the bald patches left by the disease. Was it sailors returning from faraway lands or unsuspecting nobles seduced by fortune and fame? What lengths did they go to conceal their afflictions? And how did this hidden epidemic shape the course of European history? The answers lie hidden in the shadows of the past, waiting to be uncovered. The year is 1667, and the place is Paris, the heart of 17th century Europe. For centuries, long flowing hair had been a symbol of beauty and power, especially for men. Yet behind this facade of beauty and elegance, a terrifying truth lurked. Amidst this chaos, an unexpected hero emerged, King Louis XIV of France, the Sun King. But this trend didn't end at the palace walls. As the 18th century dawned, the streets of London, Paris, and Vienna were filled with men and women, proudly displaying their magnificent powdered wigs. Now let us take a closer look at what exactly these wigs were, and why they became such an integral part of 17th and 18th century life. The process of creating a wig was an intricate art form. These wigs were not just a fashion statement, they also served a practical purpose, concealing scars and sores caused by syphilis and smallpox. One of the most intriguing aspects of powdered wigs is the reason behind their white color. But these elaborate creations required more than just skillful crafting. Now, you might be wondering about the strange custom of putting powder on these already white wigs. Furthermore, the powder gave the wearer a chance to express their individuality through subtle hints of color. The impact of powdered wigs extended far beyond the realm of fashion. In France, the epicenter of wig fashion, an astonishing 30,000 wig makers were employed to craft and maintain these elaborate headpieces. During this time, the trade of wig making was considered respectable and highly profitable, attracting skilled artisans and aspiring entrepreneurs alike. Powdered wigs didn't just dominate the streets of Europe, they also graced the stages of theater, becoming an integral part of theatrical performances. But amidst the opulence and grandeur, a darker truth persisted. By the late 18th century, the trend of wearing powdered wigs began to fade away, replaced by simpler styles that better suited the changing times. Today, when we look back at the powdered wigs of the 17th and 18th centuries, they evoke a sense of nostalgia and fascination. While these elaborate headpieces may have vanished from our streets, their legacy lives on in museums, inspiring awe and wonder. Now, it's your turn to share your thoughts.